Well, it's January the 15th. It is caucus day here in Iowa. And our day began at 8 o'clock this morning. We're in a restaurant in Urbandale, which is a small town outside of Des Moines. And this was Vivek Ramaswamy, his first event of the day. And I've got to tell you, this room was absolutely packed with people. Lots and lots of media here as well. What was interesting was the ages. A lot of young people supporting Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, if you believe the polls, he's lying third or fourth. He thinks he's going to come in with a much stronger performance tonight. I sense he just might. And either way, Trump's going to win here in Iowa. But how Ramaswamy does, I think, is very important for the future of the Republican Party. This guy's 38, full of bags of energy. But I tell you something, coming from the UK, where our democracy feels almost beyond our fingertips, where it feels our vote doesn't really matter, to come and see the engagement, the involvement of people, and we'll see it again at 7 o'clock tonight when they turn up to actually vote in the caucuses. There's something really refreshing and impressive about the way the Americans do this. So 8 o'clock in the morning, it's the big day. That wasn't a bad crowd, was it?
Oh, it was a strong crowd for the morning. You should have seen even over the course of yesterday, we were drawing crowds of sizes that look like of several of the other candidates combined, and we've done more events than any one of them. And so I'm pleased with the momentum heading into the final sprint, and many of the endorsers we've had have come in the last 72 hours. Strongest constitutional conservatives in the state have come over in droves just this past weekend. The likes of Steve Holt, who switched from Ron DeSantis. Steve King, who was widely expected to support Trump, came out in support of me, and I think it's a great end of momentum to finish this off, and I expect a major surprise for the media tonight.
Right, so the polls are wrong.
I think the polls are wrong.
Interesting. Well, all candidates say that and think that, but we're going to find out later on this evening. And a little bit of an argument with Trump over the last few days.
I think I would call it less of an argument and maybe a one-way sense of frustration, but I can't speak for what his campaign advisors had. And what I'll say is Donald Trump's an excellent president. I've said that at every step. I respect the man. I love the man because he got this fight started. But now it's our job to finish it. And you know what? There are two America First candidates in this race. That's Donald Trump and myself. But I have fresh legs and I'm able to reach the next generation. And I'm worried. I'm worried for Trump. I'm worried for this country that this system will not let this man get anywhere near the White House again. And I've done everything I can to push back against these disastrous prosecutions and persecutions against him. I filed an amicus brief with the Supreme Court last week, arguing for why they needed to overturn Colorado's disastrous decision. I've called on every other Republican to remove themselves from any GOP primary ballot where he's named. But at a certain point, we owe it to this country to see what's happening. The system wants to narrow this down to a two-horse race between Donald Trump and a puppet who they can control. They want to take Trump out in the spring or early summer and trot their puppet into the White House. That puppet has a name. Its name is Nikki Haley. And I think that that's actually the trick that's actually hiding in plain sight. And I worry that our movement, including the America First movement, is walking straight into it. I believe I am the future of America First to lead this to the next generation. And it's my job and duty to this country to do it. And so sometimes, all I'll say is sometimes the truth hurts.
Well, a lot of passion there, Vivek. How many more events today?
Oh, I haven't even counted. I mean, countless packed all the way through the Iowa Caucus, at least 5 more. Plus, I'm going to be speaking at one of the caucus sites tonight, which makes that, according to normal day standards, a light day for us.
Very good. Thank you for joining us on GB News. Well done.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good. Well, I'm joined by pollster Frank Luntz. Now, 8 o'clock in the morning, Vivek Ramaswamy fills up a room, and a lot of young people. There's something going on here.
He attracts more support among the 18 to 29-year-olds than any of the other candidates. And I think it's because of his directness, because he tells it like it is, and because they're tired of being lied to by the older candidates.
So he says the polls are wrong. Now, of course, people always say the polls are wrong. Does he have a chance of coming in second here in Iowa?
I don't think so, but I'm hoping he goes to New Hampshire. I'm hoping he stays in because, frankly, his message is very, very important.
Yeah, no, I think it is. And Trump, how does Trump look to you? Does Trump look dominant, completely dominant, no question he's going to win, or could surprises happen, Frank?
Surprises can happen. I think he wins this caucus. I think he wins it going away. The question for me is, does he get 50%?
Right. Okay, that's the number to look for. And who have you got with you?
So these are all students from Radley College in the UK. According to Tatler magazine, the best boarding school in all of England. So,
right, and you're over here, guys, watching the American elections. What do you think of it?
Very, very different to what we see in the UK. I think for people in the US, they definitely do live and breathe politics in every sense of the word. So, very different.
And it also feels like their votes really matter here, perhaps more than ours do.
Yeah, they're so engaged, so energetic. I think that politics is something about the principles of America. They really live by their constitution, their political system. They love it in a way that it'd be nice if we did in the UK.
Well, one thing for certain, there's a lot more energy in the American Republicans than there is in the British Conservatives, believe me.